It's kinda dark out. I do think that fight of the light, This is a rough draft, but fuck it, the timing was.
We should all know by now that we are all unwilling participants in a war being prosecuted for the domination, subjugation, and parasitic possession of human biospiritual energies, as well as planetary resources. Our thought patterns are not only being monitored, but synthetically modified and manipulated within algorithmically constructed neurological energy patterns that were specifically designed to induce the collective intelligence index of our autochthonous peoples to spiral downward into progressively lower frequency bands of consciousness. Biodisruptive frequency technologies have been set up globally to distort and disrupt humanity's higher access to cosmic self-awareness. The first stages of the strategy to undermine and possess the human mind and soul has been to separate us from the empathic frequencies of nature, to estrange us from the psychosymmetric algorithms of life, and communicate us or discommunicate us through our higher instincts, which then give birth to natural thinking, symmetric reasoning, and natural behavior. All this they have accomplished through tactical implantation of synthetic memes. That's a word that has just been introduced into the social lexicon. The meme. Well, they have accomplished this through the tactical implementation and implantation of synthetic memes, using the algorithmically constructed news broadcasts of multimedia to coordinate and control the behavioral reflexes of the masses. In essence, weaving a pathological perceptual construct of algorithmically coordinated paradigms of self-regulating mind control. With diabolical efficiency, they have disrupted and co-opted the flow of organic continuity. Think about that. There is no natural synchronicity anymore. Everything you think is happening moment by moment has been artificially structured, and you are following an artificial pattern of behavior that you are synchronized with. All active and passive tactics and technologies used to colonize, systemize, and adversely utilize our thoughts, our dreams, our visions and intentions represent aggressive efforts to scientifically preempt or methodically attenuate those higher cerebral frequencies associated with human spirituality, human evolutionary thinking, the psychogenetic transcendence, and by immersing us, the collective mind, and the collective cognition of the masses into an ocean of algorithmically structured synthetic schematics of reality. Today, I wish to explore with you one of these patterns, an algorithmically coordinated pattern of political deception that, when finally discovered, may have devastating consequences for peoples of African descent here in America. A program algorithm uploaded into the Psychosocial Index of America back in 2008. Now, moving right along, I have changed the context of this particular lecture purposely. And you all have been requesting that I do the Black News for a long time. And I have not. Everybody said, when are you going to do the Black News? Well, I thought I have been. All the crap that we've been going through and everything that I've been showing you up on the screen, that is the Black News. But I said, well, let me specifically put that down. Well, the Black News is going to be one where we are going to investigate what it is that I had put out as a conjecture a while back. So, we're going to get into the energy itself. The first thing we're going to overstand and understand is the art of war. Now, in the art of war, anybody heard the art of war? Sisters and brothers, we are familiar with the art of war. Well, that is exactly what's being conducted upon us. And we do not take this book very seriously. So I'm going to show you how they manipulated this book and manipulated the rest of America and the world and did what they did to change the paradigm and change it in such a way as to endanger each and every one of us on this planet. It's already started. Sun Tzu has said in The Practical Art of War, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole and intact. Hence, to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. And y'all ain't put up a fight in, wow. You see where I'm going? Oh, it's going to get better. The skillful leader subdues the enemy's troops without any fighting. He captures their cities without laying siege to them. He overthrows their kingdom without lengthy operations in the field. All warfare is based on deception. In making tactical dispositions, the highest pitch you can attain is to conceal them. In battle, there are not more than two methods of attack, the direct and the indirect. The difficulty of tactical maneuvering consists in turning the devious into the direct. Attack where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If temperamental, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. Just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions. He who can modify his tactics in relation to his opponent and thereby succeed in winning may be called heaven-born captain. If you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. If you know your enemy and you know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. You feel like you're going, and this is the problem we have. We are reactors. We don't act, we react. And that's how they keep us back on our feet. But you see, one of the best reactors in the business was Muhammad Ali. And until we learn to float like a butterfly, because that's all we've been doing is floating, we ain't learned to sting yet. We've just been backpedaling and defending because we haven't really understood the game and the rules of the game and the algorithmic patterns upon which they have set and structured their control mechanism. They could set a paradigm of control on you, and because it is not physical that you could pattern your mind around it, what happens? You don't know that you are acting upon something that you think are your own thoughts. You think are your own behavioral reflexes. They don't belong to you that way. They're not yours. And let me read this to you. A man by the name of Israel Coleman, author of A Racial Program for the 20th Century, says, and I quote, "We must realize that our party's most powerful weapon is racial tension. By pounding into the consciousness of the dark races that for centuries they have been oppressed by the whites, we can mold them to our program of the Communist Party." Now remember, Dr. John Henry Clark himself said he was coerced into that. Cohen continues, "The words colonialism and imperialism must be featured in our propaganda. In America, we will aim for subtle victory. While inflaming the Negro against the whites, we will endeavor to instill into the whites a guilt complex for their exploitation of the Negroes. We will aid the Negroes to rise in prominence in every walk of life, in professionals and the world of sports and entertainment." This was written in 1912. See, I knew you wouldn't want to hear nothing about no metaphysics. But this is metaphysics. So I said at the bottom, is the enemy of my enemy my friend? Or is the friend of my enemy my friend? Or is the enemy of my enemy my enemy? Y'all want me to keep going?
Yes.
They essentially want to destroy what the United States has become. People who think freely for themselves, who do things for themselves, who don't care about authority, who would rather follow people who have their interests in mind. That has to stop. When you want to enslave someone, you have to take away their independent thinking and feeling. You have to make them fear being independent thinkers. You have to make them think that independent thinking is tantamount to their own destruction, when essentially independent thinking is what moved America forward. Yes. The incursion of the feminist movement was a way of destroying creativity in America, and America has always been the central focal point of creativity for the entire planet. Once they took away the masculine creativity and the impetus that the masculine creativity recognized and represented in music, in industry, and everything, and undermined it by putting a generalized feminine managerial workforce in place to manage whatever it is that was already in place, what moved America forward and kept it at the leadership end of the world shut down. Because they were just managing stuff that was done last 2 decades ago. Jobs are dying because there's no innovation.
Yes, right. Yeah.
There's nothing to innovate. And all the crap Palm Pilots and all these things that you're seeing, that's like 50-year-old technology that the military been using.
Yeah.
What do you think the internet is? It's military.
Yes.
When you think little pocket pilots, military. They got so sophisticated now, they don't even need to talk through any kind of machinery. They can talk directly through what they call implanted telepathy.